Thank you very much, Paul. We like to thank the ECSA for hosting this webinar for us, because this is a webinar on behalf of the Air Quality Working Group of ECSA, which is an open group for anybody who is interested in air quality and how you can measure it yourself. And so this is our first official webinar in this way. So I see a lot of familiar faces from the working group, and also some new people. So very welcome, everybody. And today we have a very special webinar. It's about a call from a project which is called CitiObs, and both Nuria and I are involved in that. And Nuria is even the leader of CitiObs, and we have this wonderful call for citizen science organizations to join CitiObs, and Nuria will tell you everything about it. So Nuria, I will give the floor to you, and I'll keep an eye out in the chat for people who have questions. So if you have any questions, or you want to know more or share some information, please do so in the chat, and then we'll see that it gets to Nuria.
Thank you. So you shall be now seeing my screen about the project CitiObs. It's a little bit of advertising, but we thought in the ECSA working group of air quality, the occasion was worth it, because we are, as Hester said, looking for other citizen initiatives and observatories that would like to work with us. So today I'm going to explain a little bit what we aim to do in our project, what's our vision, what are the toolkits and tools that we are generating, and also the work that we are already conducting with some citizens observatories are in Europe, and the work that we are planning to conduct with the alliance cases, and hopefully by the end of this meeting, some of you, if you still have not done it, you will fill in and also join us in our adventure. So what's the challenge that in CitiObs we would like to address is that we know that our cities face urban environmental challenges as air pollution. That's one of our main focus. And we already know that citizens are collecting a lot of data using sensors, diffusive samplers, observations of their environment. But despite all these efforts, those are not truly yet contributing to the observation systems and to the European space and making it to the policy decisions at national or European level. And sometimes they do it at the local level, but sometimes not even that. So in CitiObs, we want to enhance the role of already existing citizens observatories and provide them with assistance in the uptake of these citizens observatories as an integral part of multi-stakeholder governance, and that includes from the local to the European scale, and if possible also to the global scale. Generating validated data for policy and research. That is very important, as for example, like the European Air Quality Directive, the new directive that has just been published now. They do not mention citizen-generated data, but the doors are not fully closed for citizen-generated data to participate and being part of the policy and research. And also enabling the co-design of local actions to address urban challenges related to pollution. And that's because we have seen that a lot of the times the the time between the policy and the needs that the communities have are not always aligned. Policy takes much more time, and local communities want to take action. So we want to put them in contact also with maker spaces, artists, to make these actions in a way that are also helping the environment and making them much more visible. So here you can see this helix of the citizens and communities, data aggregators and scientists, and policymakers working together into this, contributing to these citizen-led actions and policy decisions, these two extremes, realms that we have in the project. So we have main 4 objectives in our project. The first one is to achieve a more widespread, diverse, inclusive, and stable participation among citizens observatories. This is because we have also observed, at least when we work with air quality monitoring, that there is a bias in who is collecting the data, and this usually are usually men, because they're more into the technological, and also people with certain education. So not always is reaching to the vulnerable population that is more affected to air quality, and that generates biases on where are we collecting the data that are important to fix. And again, this connects with this greater temporal and spatial availability of citizen observations as complementary to official observations, and that again can not only serve the local purposes, but also be part of the national and the European level, and contributing to the in situ component of existing observation systems, allowing us to make decisions to protect the environment. Also, strengthen the recognition of citizen observations as a powerful research and policy-making approach. As I said at the beginning, we are collecting, citizens are already collecting so much data, but this is barely making it to the policy decisions. Sorry. How are we? The main pillar of all this project is to have this larger scale demonstration of these tools and approaches for enhancing citizens observatories. And this demonstration means having this mutual learning and this collaboration with already existing citizens observatories in Europe and hopefully also worldwide. In CitiObs, we use this socio-technical methodology. This means that we do not believe that data and technological solutions in its own are enough. So we are collecting data and increasing interoperability among data and validating the data, but we do also need to have this inclusive stakeholder engagement and also have improve participation dynamics in order to increase the trust among all the actors that conform a citizen observatory, especially among the public that is collecting the data and the policy makers that are creating the policies local at national level. And as I said, we are having this demonstration, and in the demonstration we are having it in 3 phases. From the beginning of the project, we started collaborating with what we call like the 5 frontrunner cases. Those are citizens observatories in 5 European cities, with whom we are designing the toolkits and the tools. And now we are opening for 30 alliance cases that will be working with us and with the frontrunners in refining all the tools that we are generating to make them more usable and make them like fit for purpose, and making sure that they really can be used by citizens observatories to meet their needs. And then in 1 year from now, more or less, we will also open to the third phase with 50 fellow cases that will be also have access to all what we have been working with the frontrunner and alliance cases. So by the end of the project, we aim to work with citizens observatories in 85 cities in Europe. So this is the link to the open call, and I will have it also to the end, so you can take a picture to it and subscribe. So what are we generating in the project? We are generating 4 toolkits that have been identified as some of the needs of existing citizens observatories. This is the Leave No One Behind, in order to make the participation more diverse and inclusive, and set up guidelines and best practices on how to engage the people that you really want to engage and that is particularly impacted by the topic that you are working with and you are investigating. Then we have the participation in multi-level governance. This is about addressing conflicts and strengthening cooperation and building trust among all the actors that are in the citizen observatory. And this is because sometimes citizens and policymakers and industry, they come from different points of understanding and different needs, and how to make them converge and how to increase trust so that all the actors are in an equal level. Then the citizen-led actions toolkit. This is it's in the context of environmental protection, of protecting our environment, but giving it a twist where we can also work with artists and maker spaces to make this environmental protection also be an awareness also to those that are not always mindful or engaged in environmental protection, making it more attractive and more targeted. And finally, also like a more technological toolkit in reducing the barriers in the use of sensor technologies. And this obviously is actually very linked to the first toolkit on leaving no one behind, and also lowering the barriers, the technological barriers and the technological divide. Besides the toolkits, we are also generating tools that are open and people can use them. One of them is low-cost sensors for environmental monitoring. Those are open hardware and open data. So, and those are the ones that we will also be distributing to the alliance cases that would like to participate with us. And by being open data and open hardware, they can also be manipulated or changed by the communities in order to make them more attuned to their needs. We are mindful very much of data accessibility and interoperability. This is because a lot of times data collected by citizens observatories remains in the citizen observatories with their own vocabularies, with their own APIs, but they start creating silos where it's very difficult to have an overview of how much data is not only generated at European level, but also, like for example, in the case of Barcelona, one of our frontrunner cases, there's so many different citizens observatories in different neighborhoods, and they don't even know about the others. And then this, for the municipality, if they want to use the data, it's very, very difficult for them. So how to increase this interoperability and make data talk to each other. We also provide data for validation, what we call analysis-ready data, where we do the quality control, so clean the data. We do not remove any data, but we flag it and what is the data, what is the the assessed quality, is this data more or less trustable, depending of other information that we have in the area, like for example, like nearby reference stations. And this helps other people that wants to use the data in knowing, okay, I want to use data that is really has passed all the cleaning and is trusted, or I want to use any type of data, so all the data can be there. And also we provide algorithms for correcting. We know that, for example, some of the variables we are measuring are affected by humidity, so we can also correct this data. And also finally, we also want to make the data more and more useful. So we are generating, for example, air quality maps at the European level. And then we also want to do this, like, for example, for urban heat, so temperature, or other variables that citizens observatories are collecting. And we are not the only ones analyzing the data, so we also have this hands-on data for CIOs, where we have open algorithms, open scripts and tools for visualization that the citizens observatories can use themselves, and also following the vision of the project. Everything that we do is open, so that communities can also modify them and contribute to them. So how have we so far been working with the frontrunner citizens observatories? So as I said before, we have 5 citizens observatories. We have Barcelona in Spain, Athens in Greece, Dublin, Ireland, and Rotterdam in the Netherlands, and Kristiansand in Norway. There we are working, want to make this distinction. We are not only working with the city, with the authorities, but we are working with the citizens observatories themselves that are established in those cities. So we started that in July, and with the engagement and the preparation, we did the stakeholder analysis of who were the main actors in each of the citizens observatories. This is a job we did together with them. And then we had a series of onboarding workshops, where we then analyze what are the main ambitions of the citizens observatories, what are their needs they are facing, and we had about open discussions about their challenges. So this is a little bit of the work we did with them, and analyzing their pains and possible gains and tasks that needed to be done. Then we conducted an internal assessment of all the information we were gathering, conducting us to set some of the needs that we see in common of all the citizens observatories. And then we did these needs prioritization workshops together with the observatories again, where we said, okay, this is our internal assessment. What do you think about what we have been doing? And can you help us to prioritize your needs so that we can see what topics are more needed, what topics are less needed, and how we can work together. So we did that also, again, with all the citizens observatories in our 5 frontrunner cities. And with that information, we get back and design the toolkits internally. And now we will go back, or are in the process already of going back to the citizens observatories in our frontrunner cases, with the mentoring and mutual learning exercises with them, with our toolkits and tools. So that's the project, all the feedback we are getting. So with these first toolkits, together that we designed together with the frontrunner cases, we think it's time now to get a lot more cases into our project that help us to refine those toolkits and tools that we have designed together with the frontrunner cases. So the activities that we are planning with the Alliance are also onboarding meetings where we will also introduce how we work, what are the project goals, what are our resources available. We will also have a self-assessment tools is a very simple way of saying, okay, what are your needs? And then based on the specific needs and that each of the Alliance cases has, we will help us to cluster them and then twinning them based on thematic and similarities with one of our frontrunner cases, with one or more of our frontrunner cases, and also among the Alliance, so we have smaller clusters that can work together and conduct peer learning activities. But also we will have focus meetings and webinars to have this type of mentoring, sharing experiences, what has worked, what has not worked, and that will help us to, in the project, to refine our tools and hopefully for the Alliance to enhance their citizen observatories and finding some useful tools and guidance to the needs that they had. We also have some planned activities, including a study visit where we have a budget for the Alliance case to visit the frontrunner CEO and have like a deeper face-to-face workshop or learning experiences and fostering like this collaboration. As I mentioned it at the beginning, the project has also budget to provide the citizen observatories with low-cost sensors to help them monitor the environment. And also we provide a network engagement also with Alliance cases, with the frontrunner cases, but also with the maker spaces and artist networks, and to help them also fostering, if that is their interest, citizen-led actions in their city. And of course, also like I didn't mention that, but also like communities of practice that they might be interested in participating. So I think this is all what I wanted to share with you. This is the QR code where you can find the open call for citizen observatories that you can apply to, also through our website, so you can find it. And I think then with that, I would like to open the floor, like to answer any question you might have about the Alliance cases or about the project itself. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nuria. I'm sure that there are many questions.
Hopefully.
So who wants to? Oh, I see Amalia, you have raised your hand.
Thank you very much for this presentation and this initiative. It's really important. I am Amalia Polidoropoulou from University of the Aegean in Greece as well. And I was wondering if you would accept as a participant another city from Greece. We are in the Department of Shipping, Trade and Transport, and we are with the island of Chios. What we have done is that we also have a lot of experience in similar projects, and we have low-cost sensors around the Aegean islands where the university is located. And we collect such data. We also have a living lab in Chios where where a lot of the citizens are participating in different activities. And we got the information about you through the Climas project where we are participating. So that's what I wanted to ask, if we could qualify as another city from the same country.
Yes, definitely. Like we as I said, like we work with CEOs, with the citizens observatories and the citizen initiatives, and we can have in the same country several, and even in the same city, like we can have several citizens observatories. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maria, for your interest.
Perhaps, Nuria, you can say a little bit more about what the qualifications need to be part of CitiObs.
Yes. So far, like because this is a European funded project, the main constraint we have is that we are talking about citizen initiatives based in Europe. At least for these alliance cases. Then we hope later on to be able to open to other citizen observatories that are outside Europe, but at this point in time, to receive the sensors and also the budget for the study visits, the only need is to be based in Europe, and then I also like to be already like an existing citizen observatory, right? Like or citizen initiative. That means that we are helping you to establish, to collect data, to validate the data, to talk with the stakeholders, but we are not doing that for you. I mean, like we are not the ones working in that city. We are helping, but we will not be in charge of anything. So that I think that's an important distinction, because some projects are generating citizen observatories. That's not our case. Yeah, David.
So you will provide the equipment and the methodology, and this will be applied in the rest of the cities that are going to form the clusters.
Yes, and so, but we will not be the ones, for example, like engaging the citizens or distributing the sensors, or we will just provide the methodology and the tools.
Okay, David.
Hi, Nuria. Great presentation and great initiative. I think here in Slovenia, where I'm from, we have several ongoing activities that might be just a perfect fit, and I definitely will register those. Just a general question: do you have some kind of general inclusion criteria? What you're after here in terms of like portable, static, indoor, outdoor, or there are no limitations?
Yeah, thanks for the question, David. I think that's very nice. We do not. I mean, we do have a limitation in the sensors that we can provide, right? But we do not have any limitation on the type of CO. Let's say, like for example, like we couldn't even work with COs that wants to measure water quality. But in that case, for example, we cannot provide them with sensors, because the sensors we are providing, they are capable to measure air pollution, noise, light intensity, temperature, but they are not measuring water quality, right? So then, like for example, like yeah, and there might need to be like a deeper talk if we can help or not in that. But yeah, but in principle, like we do not interfere in what is the interest of the citizen observatory, because that is for them to define, and we are apart. And a lot of our methodologies are very very general, so that they fit different purposes. Also, maybe I take the opportunity just to mention that, like, the citizens observatories do not need to work with all our tools or work with all our toolkits. Like, for example, like that's why we are clustering them based on needs, right? For example, like there might be a citizen observatory. They say like, okay, my problem is that I don't manage to reach and engage with certain type of population that I want to engage. Okay, then you are just interested in one of our toolkits, and we are not a technological at all citizen observatory, so you don't need to do that, right? Like we just focus on that need. Yeah.
Thanks. That was very clear. I'll be in touch.
Thank you, David, for your interest. And I think we had another question from Eugenia.
Hello, thank you, Nuria.
Hi.
I want to ask about the duration of the observatories. My understanding, the CitiObs is like a project. So the observatories are going to be established, but the resources will run for a specific duration for 1 to 2 years, or there will be resources to run for longer term.
Yeah, but that's a nice question too. So as I feel like, as we are not in charge of establishing the observatories can be already existing from before and can then continue after the project is gone. Like the activities, like the mentoring activities and the peer learning activities provided with the project will be provided the 2025 and 2026. These 2 years. The sensors will be provided by the project, and they and then they can stay, if the citizen observatory wish, so they can stay with the citizen observatory. They don't need to return them to the project, so they can continue monitoring. And the tools generated in the project most will be like open code, so those will still be in the GitLab, and people can access to them and modify them. The only thing is, like, I don't think we can say like, okay, we will maintain and update the code in 5 years time, right? But what we do have is access like to the to say like the knowledge platform, that the website, and this will be maintained from the project these 10 years. So this access to this information will still be available. And I'm not sure if I kind of answer your question.
Yeah, very good. Thanks.
Thank you.
I don't know, Achim, do you want to say something, because you sent an email about?
Yeah, actually, I was just trying to find the raise hand button. Thank you. I think my main question is, I mean, you probably know we are based in Thailand. We work globally, so we are not European based. But I know also the Citizen Science Global Partnership is actually working on providing some kind of toolkit or help for, like, making it more easier to get information on this. We are going to work with a United Nations Development Program on a similar project in Asia. So I was wondering, like, this development of, this additional educational material, if there's an interest to, like, collaborate on this, and if, like, how is this done, Nuria, in your team, or is there a kind of platform to work together? Because I think there are a lot of synergies. I probably know 2 or 3 other groups or already platforms having this kind of thing. So I see maybe there's a bit of a risk to that, like 3 people at the same time reinvent the wheel. Is there any plan to maybe also look a little bit beyond Europe, at least I know you have certain limitations from the funding, but maybe not so much from the knowledge sharing.
Yeah. Thank you. I think thank you for this question. It's a very good question. I actually I'm in the Citizen Science Global Partnership, and it is we really want to collaborate, and the tools that we are generating can also be less European centric, you know, and be part of of the global south and other countries, so that are more generic tools and can be adapted. That's in our plans. Also, like from the project, we really don't want to reinvent the wheel at all. So we are in collaboration with other toolkits, and also like we don't want to generate platforms again and again that then don't get used. So we are very much keen of also like helping others, you know, like so. One way we plan to do that is also like our algorithms can be like a full architecture and module as on its own, but also can be part and untangled, you know, as small parts, and people can say, oh, I'm really interested in having this correction algorithm and implement it on my website, and okay, just do that, take this part and implement it, right? Another way that we are doing that is also by promoting a standard API based in Sensor Things API to try to converge everyone. And another way that we are doing it is, instead of like creating another storage, what we are doing is like this virtual web where we just have kind of like, I'm not so much into the technology, but let's say like we just have the APIs from everybody that works with open data, and then through this virtual web, you can just get access to the data, right? So we are not storing it again, the data. We don't want to do that, and in that way, we are just like, as I say, like enhancing, like saying like, okay, how can we work better together in order not to create silos? But we are trying as much as possible, right, not to replicate and do collaborations. So I will be more than happy to get in touch with you and work together in this. Yeah, thank you.
I think this would be great. I'm thinking like something like a network of networks, something a little bit just enabling the knowledge sharing, and just like I think this would be great. Yeah, if we could set something up there.
Yeah. Because then I think that's like, I agree that the knowledge shall stay where it's, you know, like I'm having this ultra mega website that has everything. It's totally impossible, but still there is so much learning, and try to use a standard or harmonized ways so that the data is easier to be understood by everyone, right? So that's like one of the ways that we see we can enhance and help observatories. I think like Hester, there's some questions in the chat also.
Yeah, so one that is sort of similar to the question already asked here is it possible to participate with existing network? And the answer is yes. We are indeed looking for projects that are already running, because we want to enhance what's already there. So instead of going out to build new citizen science projects, we want to make use of the things that are already there, and to get all the value out of that and to enhance those. So that was a question by Peter, and so the answer is yes. If you already have your sensors in place, but you want help in other ways, finding the stakeholders or stuff like that, that is exactly what this project is for. And then we have a question by Jensja. I don't know, Jensja, maybe you want to explain it yourself?
Yeah, hello. Hi.
Hi.
And my question is about data. So are you does the data generated from your project currently like open source for reuse? Because I'm trying to work with my student in developing algorithms for aggregating citizen science data, and then we need like data from low-cost quality sensors and also the official air quality monitoring stations. And we're trying to collect as much data as possible in different cities. Currently, we already scrape the data in the Netherlands, but we also want to scrape the data in other cities in Europe. So just wonder if you have data somewhere that we can.
Yeah. I can answer to you. So as I said, like we do not generate the data ourselves. The data is generated by the citizens observatories we are participating. In that case, the licensing, we respect the licensing that the citizen observatory has. Then like the second question is like if we are aggregating, as I said, like we one of our ways of increasing interoperability, we are suggesting to the CEOs to use Sensor Things API in a way that, because there is a Sensor Things API Plus that it's specifically designed to work with citizen-generated data. So we are teaching how to use this API. Then for the existing observatories that already are using this API, we are generating this virtual web. It's like kind of like a place where aggregates the data, doesn't store it, it just aggregates the data. And then it cleans it and so on. Yeah, and then like that, then it goes again to a Sensor Things API, and people can just ask to the web air, let's say the virtual, so this virtual place, ask for data sets, and doesn't need to worry if the data sets are coming from different places, right? Like, because that's what it takes a lot of work, because there's so many silos, and just knowing, you know, like what is the data, it already takes months. So we want to start creating this virtual hub, right? Like where it just collects APIs and respects. That's also like very important for us. It respects the provenance, who is the owner of that data, what is the licensing of that data. So that we believe is very important. I'm not sure, have I answered your question?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. I think maybe I'll write an email offline to you to ask more details about like if there are any data that we can use here.
Yeah, and I think like you can also get in touch with the people in the team that is working with this, so that they can also like work with your student or.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A question from Lara about school projects. Maybe you want to elaborate yourself, Lara?
Hello. I'm trying to set up in my city some citizen science project related to a study of air quality, but I haven't managed to start the project. And it will be related to schools and children doing the data and the collection. And I was wondering if this will be suitable, or is maybe too complicated for children to take part in something like this.
Well, I think children are excellent, and they are so clever, you know, like, so I'm not sure like which ages are you aiming with, but definitely like we have been working with schools, not in other projects at Nilu, and it's always a pleasure to work with children. And in that case, I guess like if you're asking about the complexity of the sensors, I think they are suitable to work with the schools.
Yes, it's about how complex it is to collect the data from the sensors and the.
No, it's fine. They have been used already in some schools to collect the data, so that's possible.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Lara.
A question about the deadline for application, Nuria. Very good question.
Very good question. Like our let's say our hard deadline it's the end of October, so today is 29. So I think this tomorrow, right? Like this month has only 30 days, right? However, like, you know, if your application comes next week, we will still consider it. And that's recorded, so I will never say I said that. I will put a beep on the top of that.
Yeah, so if you thinking about applying, please do so soon, even if you don't know exactly everything that you need to know. Or send an email to Nuria so that she is aware of the application.
Yeah, that you want to apply, but I don't know, you will come later. But the application itself, you know, like the process of application is very, very short. It takes about 10 minutes or maybe less, you know. So just please just fill it in if you're thinking about that.
And then a question from Anna: is there monetary compensation offered to TOs attending the program?
Thanks, Anna, for this question. Like, no, unfortunately, we do not have possibility of covering the hours of the people participating. As I said, like our only compensation is like in-kind compensation through sensors, and also like the budget to go for a study visit.
Okay, does that answer your question, Anna? Okay. And then a question from Sam Bland: do you have tools and methods for dealing with contextual data related to air quality? In other words, building parameters. Maybe you want to, Sam? You want to explain?
Yeah.
Hello, sorry, could you hear me?
Hi, yeah.
It's related to our project that, in addition to collecting the kind of air quality data itself, so things like temperature and humidity, we also collect more contextual data. It's indoor air quality that we're collecting. So that data has related contextual sort of metadata around the building it's in, or whether people have opened the windows, things like that. I wondered if that was how related to the project that was, if it was not just air quality data. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yes, so like as I said, like it is not us collecting the data; it's the citizen observatories, and so sometimes they also collect contextual data. And nevertheless, in the project, we are also working with what we call like decision-ready information, right? Where we get the data that the citizens observatories have collected, and we also use other data to create, for example, air quality maps, or to create alert systems, and this what type of decision-ready information we want to provide. That is something we want to discuss now more with the frontrunner cases and with the alliance cases. So what is of interest, and also with policymakers at different levels, right? And what is of interest to work with the data. And in that cases, we are, CitiObs partners that are also providing with contextual data. For example, like just to make it a bit more clear, like we are providing now maps at European scale, and for that we are using data from the CAMS model and also satellite data, for example, because it's a European scale. And then, like, if we want to work with at urban scale, we will also use other data, like, for example, like distance to the roads or height of the buildings. So, yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I see all kinds of people and having conversations in the chat and answering each other's questions, which is
nice.
Perfect, because that's exactly the kind of thing that we also want to attain with this CitiObs project, that we sort of combine citizen science initiatives, so people can work together and learn from each other. So that's perfect. And I think we have all the questions from the chat. So if there are any other loose questions out there, please let us know. And then, if not, I hope that some of you got inspired to actually become an alliance case for CitiObs, that you can find the registration. And if there are still more questions, I guess Nuria will be.
Yeah, I encourage you, like, you can go to our website. We also have an email there, and we have obviously like the social media. But if you just say like, I don't want to be an alliance, but I'm interested in the project, I have other projects, and I have toolkits that can be interesting for CitiObs, please get in touch with us, because as we said, we don't want to reinvent the wheel, but also, like, we can refer to your tools in our toolkit so that people know that there are existing tools outside, not only the ones from the project, but the other tools that they can use. So please just get in touch with us through our email, and yeah, and also subscribe to the working group on air quality that Hester is sharing.
Yeah, perfect. So, and we have still 5 minutes more, but we could also use that to take a cup of coffee before we run to the next meeting. So if there are no more pressing questions, then I'd like to thank everybody for their presence and for the nice conversation.
Thank you everyone. Have a very nice Tuesday afternoon.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
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 Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.